All right, to quote Larry Magen, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Let's get into the show. Got an hour of sterling, of which, and I found this interesting, top men over the break sharing this information. Almost every item in this hour alone is a customer choice. And you don't get to say that very often, and tonight on this hour we do. Why? Vegas 2010, that means special pricing on jewelry and watches. If you go to ShopNBC.com, 4 or more value pay on all jewelry and watches. It'll include, of course, our television program as well. We'll do a jackpot special every hour, which means special pricing on an item I cannot divulge in advance as much as I'd like, but we'll have it, the 6 interest-free payment special option for you. There's also going to be special financing on the ShopNBC card, so enjoy. All right. Here are some things you'll want to consider. The Brumalia, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, either layered in yellow gold or in the silver tone, $169.62. And check this out, 6 interest-free payments. That's 43% off, and it's one of the many customer choice items you'll have in just the next 58 minutes here at ShopNBC. Let's get to another one. Customer choice. This is the women's version of the Manchester. It sold out previously. It's finally back in stock. You gotta love the surprise price of $98.97 for interest-free payments. This celebrates, in my opinion, I think one of the great fortes of sterling, which is the phenomenal detailed dial. Now, this one, frankly, we're going to get to this in about 45, 50 minutes. But if I were you, I'd start calling right now. That is $79.68 for a decorated mechanical automatic skeleton in a big case. I'm sorry, how many? This guy, I just wanted to make sure that I heard that right. Over 11,000 of these have already sold. That's why I had the producer repeat it. I uttered that and be wrong. Over 11,000 have sold. $79, guys, while they last. This is Larry. Thanks for being here, man.
Hey, Tim, here we go.
Let's do this thing.
I'll tell you, Tim, it's been great, this whole Vegas event. I'm so happy I was able to be here, and it's an honor to be part of it. Way. Oh, this old thing? Listen, guys, it's been great so far, but this is our Sterling Originals final hour with Tim Temple here tonight, and we're loaded. And we've got the new Falcon Predator, never seen before. I think it's the watch of the weekend. But here we go, Tim.
You know, you talk about the new stuff, and of course we're going to be bringing out some of that. And the response that you had when you did the live presentations at the original, about a month ago, we had the big gathering of the watch guys here locally, and they love what you guys are doing, and I think it's great that you listen to the customer. And I know that sounds obvious, but I don't think every brand does, and you do. All right, let's check this out. $54.98 while it lasts. Customer choice, and most of those customers, and by the way, over 1,000 of these have already sold, paid way more than $54 for this. I can promise you that. It's $54.98. 4 interest-free payments, a 44-millimeter case, 316L steel. All right. You know what? In simplest terms, and Larry, as always, you're going to have a lot of material on this, but I'm going to cut to the chase on this. This is basically $50, $54.98. Somebody wants to see why sterling is a phenomenon, why people, and I'm among them, by the way, right here. I collect sterling. I do. And you want to see, you know, why does that guy collect sterling? Why do thousands of people? I mean, all these people that call and they share and they write about it. I mean, come on, we're not all idiots. We can't all be wrong. Check this out for $54.98. Forward payments, $13.74?
Well, you know, Tim, this is our men's Delphi. It's actually, more correctly, the Delphi Oracle. But this came out last November as a new piece in the series. And, you know, we sold literally over 20,000 of the Delphi. When you consider there was a ladies' version as well as a set. And of the 20,000, Tim, I must say you were probably personally responsible for about 10,000 of those yourself. Well, I don't know if you remember that day.
I do, and thank you for saying so.
It was unbelievable. That. But in any case, here we go. Viva Vegas. It's the skeleton mechanical automatic Delphi Oracle from our classic collection, our Bardolatry series, 44-millimeter case design, a 2010 model. Yes, we came out with it in end of November 2009, but it was made for 2010 with the new refreshed rotor design. When, Tim, you have a skeleton mechanical automatic timepiece, you are sharing your love and appreciation for watchmaking. It's an homage to art and tradition that goes back a couple of centuries, a couple of hundred years. Sterling Original, we have become known for our skeletonized mechanical automatic timepieces, and the Delphi is the #1 all-time selling mechanical automatic skeleton in our entire gallery of more than 75 different skeleton mechanicals. Maybe it's the Greco-Roman inspired case with the triple step design. Maybe it's the herringbone pattern on what's remaining of the dial. Here's the exhibition case back. And by the way, Tim, for 2010, we went from 39 millimeters on the Delphi up to 44. So now it really wears like a boardroom piece, Tim.
Well, let's update everybody. This is the first, and you know what? I'll tell you right now, the next 2 hours are just going to be stupid. Because I got Sterling all this hour that's doing goofy pricing like this. The next hour, I've got exoskeletons. So let me tell you right now, there's already a wait in the phone room. So what you guys need to do, I'm not even remotely exaggerating, is get over to ShopNBC.com. Now, you're welcome to call if you want, but you're going to be holding. Just know that going in. Go to ShopNBC.com. You can leapfrog everybody holding. You can pick this up. We're about to cross 1,100 of these sold. Now, to put this into a little bit of a more, I guess, urgent perspective, we have well inside of 300 of these left, and we're about to cross 1,100 gone. So you see where we're going with the math here. This is going to sell out. It should sell out. And with Forepay on top of a $54.98 price reduction, frankly, there's no way that it can't. Larry, obviously, this doesn't come as any surprise to you, I wouldn't think.
Oh, no, definitely not. This is the #1 all-time seller. To be able to get a skeleton mechanical automatic timepiece for well under the century mark, it makes not only a great choice for yourself personally, but also it's a great gift item, and the gift-giving season is not that far away. Now, Tim, we're both wearing tuxedos. We're both doing the black and white thing. This is the black strap with the silver toe case. Which one of us is going to show how it looks with a tuxedo?
That would be me first.
That would be you. Let's take a look. Look at that.
Then we'll hand it to Larry, because actually we're doing two different styles of tux, right? I'm doing the double-breasted. He's got single. He's doing the tie. I'm doing banded collar. So no matter what style of tux that you guys love, because we all know you like putting the tux on, you're going to see how this works. This does have a natural elegance to it. I think part of that is the dial that you guys use for the texture.
Well, listen, anybody new out there to watchmaking, let's remember one thing. We take it for granted that you know what we're talking about when we're saying a skeletonized mechanical automatic timepiece. But guys, there's no battery in this watch. Ladies like this piece too. Ladies can be taken seriously. It's no longer just for the guys. A lady can walk into the boardroom, a real estate woman, a judge, an attorney, a salesperson, a business person, and say, hey guys, look, it's not just for the guys. And a woman would be taken seriously as well. So no matter which way you go, you can't go wrong here, Tim.
Over 1,100 gone, fewer than 200 remaining. Write the item number down. V as in Victor, 91397.
Wow.
91397. This is going to go. I mean, between the people that are holding and people getting over to the website. Okay, in roughly 10 minutes, speaking of women's watches, we're going to be bringing this out, but check this price, $98.64, and those are, it's a diamond production, am I correct?
Yeah, 10 points of diamonds, 25 diamonds. We're not on it now, but don't wait because they're not going to last, Tim. 10
there's not even 100
diamonds for the Courtly from the Romance Collection. Super value right
Fewer
there
than
for the
100 each of those, and I got to bring this up because, well, you were just referring to it, brand new.
Yep.
And if you like big watches, and obviously most of you do, you will fall in love with this piece.
Yeah, brand new launch here today. The Prospero from the Bardolatry series, the same series as the Delphi. But Tim, here's the key. Yes, it's a new model, but it's a brand new skeletonized movement, the new 90001.
I was going to ask you about that because
awesome.
I'm staring at it, I'm going like, yeah, but the gear configuration. First I thought you just turned it upside down. No, that's not right.
Brand
because
new.
The ratio is still 3.
We're going to be using that.
Really cool.
You're going to see it more and more.
Beautiful.
It's great.
Oh, speaking of which, I can still remember being part of the debut of this product, and I still own mine, and I absolutely love it. I think it's regal and elegant, and I don't happen to have mine with me on this particular trip, or I put this together with my tuxedo. This one lists for $725, but check this out. It's going to go to $129.26, and this is one of them that I did do a video on earlier for those of you out on Facebook. And the reason I picked it out is I can still remember when this was brought out, and I won't get into numbers, suffice to say it went for significantly more than $129. I'll leave it at that. 4 inches free payments. This is, I think it's fair to call this the original. I mean, this is the 41 millimeter case, the 316L steel, has the elegance, of course, of the crown that's been moved up to the 12 with the cabochon. And I have just, the moment I first saw you guys do this, and I guess we're going back, what, I guess, to 05, roughly?
5 years, Tim.
I said this is going to be a huge hit for you guys. And indeed, you have, I'd say within the Sterling line, you guys have turned this into a bit of a franchise.
Well,
and good for you.
No, Tim, thank you. You know, you're absolutely right, Tim. 5 years ago, you absolutely shamed us into letting you have these pieces. I'll never forget that. But you know, Tim, you thought I forgot, but I didn't. You started a waiting list online for 2 months, and we had no choice but to give it to you. But anyway, my point is this, guys. This is an all-time signature model for Sterling Original to represent the entire brand. It's from our old world treasures, the most formal. Everybody talks about, well, Sterling is so classy, so elegant. Now you guys are in sport watches for the last 3 years, but don't forget about the class and the elegant. Well, here it is. This is classic Sterling Original. This is a throwback to the old days where you're paying homage to an art and tradition that goes back centuries when they used to wear pocket watches strapped to the wrist. And you can tell immediately when you see the crown and bow at the 12 o'clock position, you're saying, wait a minute, this looks like a pocket watch or something. But now look what we've done to make it elegant. It's a 41 millimeter case design in diameter, 13 millimeters thick, and you've got a dual time zone mechanical automatic movement. There's no battery. You see the subdial, Tim, over at 3 o'clock. You can set a secondary time zone. I like to set mine 6 hours ahead from New York so I can say, oh, look, it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Paris. But take a look on the dial. You've got an inlaid mother of pearl chapter ring that has been custom cut, not easy to do. You can see how it's cut around that subdial at 3 o'clock. But here, the striking open heart, one of the most beautiful open hearts we've ever done with the vertical bridge with the 6 blued screws. You see the balance wheel oscillating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. Tim, I am so pumped up, and this is the all-time, without a doubt, not even close, the lowest price offering. If anybody's watching the show right now, you cannot let this go by. A New Year's Eve kind of piece, maybe a once-a-year dress-up piece. You have to get dressed for this. Tim, I'm going to put the gray on with my tux.
I don't disagree, and frankly, of the two, between the green, they're both gorgeous, but today I would have also gone with the gray because it fits so beautifully with the tux. Now, that stated, green at this point looks like it's going to go first. We're inside of 100 on the
Can't
green.
let this go.
This record low price is debuted just today here on ShopNBC. Hundreds already gone. Let's grab a phone call or two. I think it's Mike Holing from New York. Hey, Mike, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon.
And to you. Welcome,
Hello, Mike.
sir.
Larry, you should be smiling, buddy.
I am.
I got to tell you, I spoke to you about a week and a half ago. I had gotten, I think it's the Mariner, the black with the rubber band.
Sure.
And I was saying how great it was, and you kind of talked me into getting the Aussie, the orange Aussie with the face on it.
I twisted your arm, huh?
I got to tell you, this Aussie is like so good.
Yeah.
And the two Sterlings, I have this is number 75 and 77 of my collection. They are now my two favorite.
Fantastic.
I am telling you, they are so comfortable.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike.
Real
quickly, thank you so much for your support. 77 Sterling Originals. That's fantastic. But you have 77. You must have an Emperor somewhere in there.
I do.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, if you don't, you got to go.
I got to tell you, your watches, for the dollar you spend and the quality you get, they're the best.
Oh, gosh. Thanks so much, Mike, really. Much love to you. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Mike. We appreciate that.
I really appreciate it.
I'm hanging on right now.
I got to give you the chest tap, Mike. There you go. Much love.
And Mike from New York calling in. By the way, all you other guys, you want to give us a shout, please do. Toll-free number at the bottom of the screen. We'll see if we can't get you out here for just a few seconds. Coming back here to the Emperor, at this point, green and is now fewer than 50. And 90 seconds ago, there was fewer than 100. So this is going to be gone. We have got green or the gray. The gray to me has got there's a regal elegance to it that's fantastic. But at this point, clearly the audience is voting for green.
Well, you know, Tim, I call it a battleship gray, and I think I stole that term from you about 5 years ago. But it really is a battleship gray. And then on the green, it's kind of a dark emerald green, kind of a huntery really green on the dial itself, the hunter. But for the ladies like to wear this one too, Tim. At 41, it's not too overpowering. For the guys, it wears like a 50 because you're adding about 12 millimeters due to the crown and the bow up at the 12 o'clock
You guys did,
position.
as you obviously know, you did such a fantastic job on this production, and I hope you continue this for the foreseeable future in bringing the Emperor back in different incarnations. I think it's gorgeous. All right, if you guys missed the top of the hour, This is already over half sold out, and by that I mean the quantity that we had listed just for this show, 191397. That really is $54.98, and that is for a beautiful decorated skeleton mechanical automatic. Now, next hour, and frankly, if I were you, I'd start calling right now, or at least get over to the website. Yes, this really is an XO. It's made of 904L steel and sapphire crystal, all this other cool stuff. Anyway, it's $148.59 while it lasts. Now, the thing about XO, might as well get this out early. All this Generation 2.0, we own all of it. And when it sells out, and the vast majority will sell out between now and the end of next hour, it's never, ever coming back. We own all of it. Everything else is held privately. At $148 for that, you kidding? Layered in rose, gold, or yellow. It will be next hour. Abby is going to be here along with myself. We'll get you into the amazing and weird and wonderful world that is XOS. Nothing else like it on the planet. All right, let's get into the, I think, Brumalia. Am I saying that correctly?
The Brumalia, absolutely, Tim. Another classic Sterling.
And this is at $169.62. Here again, another customer choice. Almost every single watch you are going to see this hour is going to be a customer. By the way, I haven't defined what that is. So what is customer choice? Customer choice means that not just like one or two people thought, oh, it's okay. We had a lot of people, many people that wrote reviews, and they posted these reviews on our website. So if you go over to ShopNBC.com and you check out this particular Brumalia, there'll be a very obvious link where you can see the reviews. So what's the big deal about this one? Well, I think that the great markdown is a big deal. The 6 pay option, 6 interest-free payments. Obviously, that is a big factor here. This is going to make this one exceptionally affordable. But the number one, in my opinion, is the fact that this is a decorated mechanical skeleton watch. And at first glance, I think when you look at this from the dial, you think it sort of, it could be, but then you look at this from the back, and I think that's where this thing really explodes.
Well, absolutely, Tim. You know, we talk about Sterling Original being known for our skeletonized mechanical timepieces. Of course, you know, 98% of them are automatics where you have a rotor, but this one is for the collectors out there. You're looking for something really, really special. This is a pure mechanical, and the difference is with a pure mechanical, there's no rotor, so you must actually wind the watch by the crown. And with a full wind, you're going to get approximately 36 to 40 hours of power reserve on a completely loaded full mainspring. And the nice thing about, here's a great shot, guys. Thank you very much. You can actually see that oversized balance wheel that's beating here at 18,000 vibrations per hour, which is comes all the way down to 6 beats per second. But Tim, with a pure mechanical like this, what we actually have here with this movement is a pocket watch movement. That's why you see the oversized mainspring and the oversized balance wheel here that's been put into a wristwatch case. Now, this case design, people may recognize it. It's from our Labyrinthian series in our boardroom collection, the same case as our Saturnalia. It's got the double mill, double step design bezel, so it's very classy, very elegant. A pure mechanical, it must be wound. There's that big mainspring up there on the kind of top left up there. Okay, you can actually see the coil through the backside right here. And thank you, Tim. And, you know, when we get over to the front side, we're going to see also it has a small seconds subdial indication, but it's kind of highlighted by a beautiful arching bridge. It's absolutely one of our most exquisite timepieces and has been for close to 3 years, Tim. And here we go with the Viva Vegas price at an all-time low.
You know, I'm glad you brought up the fact that this started as a pocket watch movement, because it explains not only the size of the watch, but it really, I think, brings to the table, you know, what's the advantage of a pocket watch movement is that they're using, for example, larger rubies. And for those of you not familiar, the rubies, which is synonymous with the word jewels when you hear so-and-so jewel in regards to a watch movement, they're placed at the major points of pivotal friction. So when you see, for example, you look at this from the back, I just love the decoration you guys do. Also have a very flamboyant pen to use as a pointer for this hour, I noticed. This is, when you see all those little red, not even that little, these red donuts, those are actually rubies that are placed at these pivotal points of friction. And it's the same technique that's been used, as you rightly point out, for, I was going to say decades, but actually for hundreds of years in the production of mechanical watches. Absolutely,
Tim. And, you know, again, the scroll work on that is absolutely fantastic. But here's that double milled, double step design bezel in a 45 millimeter case design. So it has really nice presence on the wrist. It's in our boardroom collection, and this is every bit the boardroom piece that belongs in that collection. It's got the blued hands as well on the 23 karat yellow gold layered timepiece here. You have gold tone and silver tone. But there's that arching bridge I was talking about. If you look over at the 9 o'clock position, you can actually see the small second hand. That's your seconds indication. But look at that just incredible arching bridge, over there for the small seconds indication. Just super classy boardroom style piece, pure mechanical. Tim, there are, and I know you know this, but there are collectors out there that really don't want the automatics. They really want just the pure mechanicals, and some of them, that's all they want. That's all they buy is only pure mechanicals. They like to do it really the old-fashioned way, where you bond with your watch and you have to wind it every day or so to get it going, and that's what you do with a real mechanical, and that's what this is, Tim.
Well, guys, obviously we're inside of a minute to go. We're about to cross 800 of these sold in just the next few seconds. You can see that on the screen. Right now, I'm down to roughly about 30 left, I think, in the gold tone version. I got about 2 dozen left, not even now, about 20 left in the silver tone, and that's going to be it. So if you guys want to snag one of these, we've reduced the price to $169 with 6 interest-free payments. You guys can check this out. And by the way, that's 43% off with the payment. You can check it out for $28.27, and the shipping being $90503. $90503. Do take advantage of that. My name is Tim. This is Larry talking about Sterling. Let's get to the, actually, I was going to say the next item. Let's preview an item for you. It's going to be up actually in 20 minutes or so, thereabouts.
Brand new.
Now this one, in fact, talk a little to this because this is very new.
Yeah, brand new for 2010, the new Falcon Predator. And, Tim, our Falcon, we came out with a couple of years ago, the original. Then last year we did the Midnight Falcon Limited Edition. And now for 2010, we're bringing it up to 52 millimeters, Tim. Look at the colors. We'll get into that piece. We put a leather strap. Can't wait to get into it.
Now, on this next one, guys, the Aussie, I'll tell you right now, it is highly unlikely that we'll do a live presentation. Frankly, we've got about a dozen, especially if you want the black. I think there's literally like 11 or 12. All right, we've reduced this, and it lists for $495. We've reduced this to $94.14. That's the original Uptown Aussie on the steel bracelet. Now, again, we'll not do that live. Just go to the website or call and snag one of those. All right, diamond time.
Yeah.
You guys are bringing this out in bold colors, also in the classic colors. I think the big story, though, has got to be at this price, under $100, 5 interest-free payments. You guys are giving 1/10 of a carat of diamonds. This is going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, it's actually 25 individual stones. It's 25 stones for a total of 10 points. Now, admittedly, it's not 2 or 3 carats, but it's also not $2,000 or $3,000. You're getting 10 points of diamonds, a genuine diamond timepiece. But here's the thing here with this piece. Yes, it has diamonds.
It's a top man over there, by the way, for those of you wondering.
This is a professional, serious timepiece, Tim. This is not just a fashion timepiece for the ladies. And, one of the things about Sterling Original on the lady side of the business is we always strive to maintain the same level of technical achievement for the ladies as we do for the men. Mm-hmm. For example, this has a Swiss quartz movement in it. You can see it's got 3 hands and a date. Many times in ladies' fashion timepieces, you're going to get a 2-hand movement, maybe a 3, but you don't get the date. Here you are, and again, check out the price point. Now, you have, take a look at the dial work on this, Tim. That's done with vintage German machines, that guilloche soleil pattern, which is like a sunray, but it's emanating from the date aperture at the 7 o'clock position. And then take a look at the date magnification bubble right there. Not just a round bubble. Take a look, Tim.
Well, let's take a look up close because
I
I want to talk about not only the texture, which is important, but also let's go over colors here so everybody can order correctly. On the screen currently, and these are actually pretty straight ahead, and I celebrate that because sometimes they actually name them in an African clicking language, and you go, what was that? But this time it's all right, that's black, case in point. Next to it is going to be red, named, of course, for the red strap, and also red accents on the dial, which I think is a really sharp idea. Next to it is brown, which is a rich chocolate brown. And down on the end there is white, which is literally almost a tone on tone with a silver dial sweeping up into the white. Now, to your point, when you talk about the texture, it does emanate from the 7, which I think makes this really quite unique. I'm not aware of a lot of watches, and frankly, off the top of my head, I can't think of any other watch that has used the 7 o'clock position as the basis for their guilloche design.
Well, thank you, Tim, and it's done with vintage German machines, hydraulic presses run by true artisans, but also the freeform heart is also applied to the dial by hand. The 12, 3, and 6 are also individually applied. Also, you have a genuine French leather strap that is buttery soft, Tim. It's got the snakeskin embossing. But here's what I was talking about as far as details. Do not be fooled by the price point on this one, Tim, because take a look at this case. First of all, it's a very petite case. This is not a big overpowering watch. It's very elegant. But look, it's actually a curved case. On a case design of this size, this petite case, you would never expect in a million years that it would be curved. That's more expensive. The case back has to be curved. There's your case back. I always tell people, check out your case backs. You can actually see the 4 screws in the 4 corners. It's not a pop-off case back. There's that heart design with the name Courtly in the corner. All the details are there. Do not be fooled by the price. Any guys watching the show right now, hey, you know what I'd like to say, Tim? Go from 0 to hero in one phone call, because guys have ladies in their lives. A great opportunity to give a diamond wristwatch.
I think when you add this up between the diamonds and the fact that it's on this ultra detailed textured dial, which is what, when we use the term guilloche design, is what we're referring to. Guilloche, if you want to get picky, is actually the term used for a hand engraved dial. And I'm not implying it's hand engraved, but it does really, really look like it. Beautiful bite, $99.64 and 5 interest-free payments. All right. A little bit later on this evening, Craig Hester, the watch industry's favorite comrade, is back. The Caspian Sea Monster. By the way, the first time ever on 4 interest-free payments. And this is the one with those tritium tubes, by the way, which I know a lot of you guys very specifically have been looking for as far as luminous material. And it'll be during Watch Time with Jim Skelton, and that's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, obviously here on ShopNBC. Craig is brilliant, by the way. If you've never heard him do a show, this guy writes for watch magazines, and he is realistically the leading authority in the United States on Russian watches, and he's here live tonight, so be sure to check that out. All right, I believe we are now arriving at jackpot time, I think. Yes, we are. Check this out. Okay, what is the jackpot item? And this is one, in fact, I was lamenting this to said producer before the show earlier. I so wanted to talk about this in advance, and part of the mystique of the jackpot is I'm literally forbidden. It's verboten. You can't say what it is. You can say it's cool, it's going to be on 6pay, and all of that's true. But this is a dial that has the guilloche design. There's some monster complications involved, and to me, this really celebrates what I happen to think is at least two, of Sterling's fortes, which is making the complex, as in the complications, affordable, and also extreme guilloche-inspired dial detail. And in this instance, we're going to show you 2 examples. You can get it in a white or a black. For the record, I would call this more of a silver dial as compared, it's not a Duca white, for example, by any means. But whether you're choosing the white or the black, here's a beautiful shot that illustrates the white. Now, what do you like best? Do you love extreme complications? Let's take a look at this. First of all, at this price of $148.72, just to get this little guy would be a big deal. That's an actual 40-hour power reserve. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. 2 independently operated, independently set time zones. This is a snapback retrograde pointer date, and you've got a true sweep second. All of this at just $148, and for this event, 6 interest-free payments. This is, I think, one of the more exciting offers within the hour, and that's saying something. I think you guys are bringing a lot to the table here. There's no doubt.
Well, this is our Saturnalia dual time. Thank you, Tim. You're absolutely correct. Once again, from the Labyrinthian series, from the Boardroom Collection, you recognize the case design. We just saw this case with the Brumalia, same case as the Saturnalia. This is the Saturnalia DT dual time, 45 millimeter case design with the double mill, double step design bezel. And you're absolutely right, Tim. Look at all the complications. You just pointed them out. I won't repeat them. But with all these complications, you know you must have a spectacular movement if it's going to be a mechanical automatic. It's not a quartz. Yes, it is truly, all these complications off of a single mainspring. Guess what? 40 joules. In order to achieve all these complications, you're going to have a lot of friction points, a lot of extra gears, a 40 joule mechanical automatic movement at this particular price point for Viva Vegas. This is a boardroom piece. Now, both of these executions give you that black and white feel. You and I are both doing the black and white thing tonight with the tuxedos. So you've got the silver tone dial. I'm going to take the black and white here, Tim. This is a tremendous, tremendous opportunity.
You look at it, they're stunning, and they absolutely are. If you love elegance combined with complications, and frankly, that doesn't happen very often. you usually have elegance or you have complications. In this case, you have both, and the balance is there. The extreme dial detail is there. I think I'm a huge fan of this piece. You guys get this home at 148, 6 interest-free payments. You'll understand why I am a personal proponent of this exact production. I think it's remarkable. Let's say hi to Chuck in Hawaii, who's been holding. Chuck owns, I think, the Emperor. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Tim. How you doing?
Good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm doing excellent. You guys are killing me with this Vegas event. I've been glued to my TV for the last 6 hours or so.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for the support.
Aloha,
man.
Chuck.
Hey, how you doing, Larry? I got to tell you, I've been a fan of Sterling for at least the last 7 years. I've been collecting them.
Sure.
And when I saw today's price on the Emperor, it's a watch I happen to own myself. I bought mine a couple of years ago. I've got it in the rose tone case and the black dial with the beautiful black mother of pearl ring around it. And I got to tell you, it's one of the most amazing watches. It's definitely a dress-up piece. And today's price on that is so fantastic. People, you're just nuts if you don't purchase it. It's a fabulous, fabulous watch. Today, I decided to pull the trigger on the Manchester Aussie.
Sure.
And Larry, I know you love orange, right? I picked up the orange. And I can hardly wait to get it. It just looks fabulous. It's such a good deal.
Yeah, the orange is truly great. I do love the orange. You're right. Not for everybody. You got to be comfortable wearing color. I love to wear color, and I imagine you do too. But that orange one screams for sure.
Oh, yeah, it looks fantastic. And like you say, if you listen to the right voices, you're going to make the right choices. I love that saying.
Yeah.
And it's been true. Every Sterling I've picked up over the years, I still have them all. I've never let any of them go. I wear them all the time. They're fabulous, fabulous watches. So people can't go wrong with Sterling.
Oh, Chuck, thanks so much for your support. Much love to you.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, Chuck, and to everyone else out there, give us a shout, and we'll see if we can't get you out here for a few seconds. Now, Lyra, of course, you're wearing the black. I went ahead and put on the what they're referring to as the white dial, which, again, just to be clear, I would personally call this more of a silver dial, but obviously lighter, so just darker or lighter is a way to look at it. We got barely 2 minutes to go here, guys. If you want to snag one of these things, note the item number. There's just one of them, V as in Victor, 91392. At this point, we think it is black that is going to go. There's fewer than 50 remaining in the black, but it's your choice of just 140. I'm sorry, how many? Okay, and the white's not much more than that, but at this point it does appear that black is going to be gone first. Here's a great shot that illustrates that white dial, which comes back to that concept that we started to get into on the previous offering, which is you as a company doing that extreme dial engraved detail using vintage German machinery.
Right, and not only, you're right, Tim, not only the texturization of the detail that you're talking about, but you can even see the multi-level of components, the arc for the power reserve indicator, the two subdial arcs for the secondary time zones. Those are individually applied to the dial. They're separate pieces. Now, by the way, we're looking at that power reserve indicator up at the top. It's not. It's actually showing that there's probably, maybe 4 or 5 hours left on the mainspring. But what that is, again, Tim explained it, but if you're new to watchmaking, when you have a mainspring and you have a dial that covers it up, many times you're not aware, gosh, do I have only 1 hour remaining or 30 hours remaining? With a power reserve indicator, it's like a gas gauge. It's going to tell you how many hours are remaining. And if you see it's getting kind of low, and again, the mainspring will keep it wound, but there's nothing to stop you from winding it up. And Tim is actually cranking it up right now by the crown. Notice the nice onion-style crown as well, with the knurled edges right there. Beautiful crown right there with the crown guards. But he just cranked it up a few hours. And if he were to keep going, and you don't have to, Tim, you could crank this all the way up to 40 hours of full power on the watch. And, it's, again, Tim, I know you like to say this, but one of the more practical complications in watchmaking, but also one of the more expensive. So that really goes to the value that you're getting right here. You do have a slightly domed Cristerna crystal, more strength over a spread surface area than sapphire. Tim, this has it all. What a great value here today.
I even love the outer track on this, where you guys not only raise, I hope you can actually see it in the shot if you look, the outer track is raised maybe half a millimeter or so, maybe even a full millimeter off of the ground surface of the dial, and there's a separate texture that actually moves there as well, and then obviously the second markers are there. Gorgeous watch. Get this home, guys. You'll see why I'm a fan of this specific production. We got maybe 100 left. So snag one of them. 6 interest-free payments. Much still to go. Fewer than 30 minutes remaining before XO gets here. Let me remind you of 1 or 2 items that have been out here. This one, let me update you. If you want the gold tone, and a lot of you do, there's about a dozen left.
Wow.
That's it. And I've got about 20 left if you want the silver tone. And that's it. This is a decorated mechanical. Absolutely gorgeous. 6 interest-free payments. Check it out for $28.27. Now, this is another one that, let me just cut to the chase. We will not be doing this live. I've got a handful left. In fact, like that rose black there in the background, we got about 10 of them. That's it.
Wow.
But you can get, yeah, exactly. But you can get this for $99.62. So by all means, do check that out. My name is Tim. This is Larry, and we've got inside a half an hour and still a ton of stuff to get into. You know, you made a good reference earlier, a very apropos reference, when you talked about that Sterling has for years taken the women collector seriously, and has, to your point, has been very fastidious about whatever complication, whatever grade of craftsmanship and so on that we insist on in the guys' watches. We import that. We insist that be made apparent in the ladies, and this is going to be a great example. $98.97 list for $350. It's an interchangeable strap set. It's heavily layered in gold. I'm going to grab a quick call here. We're going to get into this, but Big Dave from Pennsylvania has been holding. We want to get him on the show. Hey, Big Dave.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good,
Hello,
thanks.
Dave.
How's it going, Larry? How's it going, Tim?
Fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Hey, the reason why I'm calling is I just received my first Sterling watch. I had ordered the Valiant,
Sure.
Valiant Divers watch.
Yeah, the Regatta Valiant 200-meter
Regatta,
water resistant.
yeah,
Yep.
Regatta Valiant Divers watch. And I must say I'm very, very impressed with the quality. Not only the quality of the packaging that it came in, but the quality of the watch itself.
Well, fantastic.
It gives the appearance of a product that costs much more than what you're selling it for. It's like at the price that you're selling it for, you're practically giving it away.
Well, I'm telling you, it's absolutely true. I mean, we sometimes joke around and we say, well, we're eating soup with a fork here because, that's kind of what's going on here. We're just turning merchandise. But it's really true. I mean, there's not much left in here, Tim. These prices defy logic. They really do. Thank you for pointing that out, Dave.
And I'm also very pleased with the service I get from ShopNBC and how fast I received my item. It's like I received it within a matter of 2 days. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I think, ShopNBC is so unique, the biggest watch retailer in the United States of America, and we're so proud to be a part of it and do our part, too. Thanks, Dave.
It's a winning combination, Sterling and ShopNBC.
Well said. Dave, thanks for the call,
Dave.
man.
Much
I
love to you.
appreciate that.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
shall.
Dave. Thank you.
Dave calling in from Pennsylvania. We got to get into this watch a bit. And what I love about this is just to, I guess, cut to the chase on 2 key features that I personally like. One, that the interchangeable straps appear to be actual permanent installs, when in fact they're not.
Yeah.
Speaks to the tolerances, the extreme tolerances you guys build with. And again, once again, we've said this on several watches now, that guilloche design dial.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. Well, as you said, we're so fastidious. But in any case, Tim, this is our Lady Manchester Aussie. Our Manchester Aussie has become a franchise model for our company for the last 3.5 years, and we've done many variations for the men. And a lot of ladies like wearing the men's, but even our 41x41, which is a 47-millimeter case design, is rather overpowering for some women. So we finally, this year in 2010, we did listen to the ladies. We made a Lady Manchester Aussie in a 44-millimeter case equivalency from 10 to 4 in a 37x37, and that's what you're seeing right here. Now, earlier today, we showed this, I believe it was with either Allison or it might have been a show with Daniel. I don't recall, but we sold out all of these silver tone. We're down to the last few remaining pieces here in the gold tone. We did sell this out a little bit earlier this year. We brought them back for this Viva Vegas event, and once again, we're down to the bottom. But here, this has all of the characteristics of the original Manchester Aussie. Number one, the anatomic, perfect, ergonomic curvature of the case. It makes a square case so comfortable on the wrist. And just look at the nice substantial thickness of this case. beautiful step design on the case, the curved top side with, again, a curved Cristerna crystal, not inexpensive to do. But we did what we do best, a skeletonized mechanical automatic. The original Manchester Aussie was not that, and I said it earlier, you pointed it out, Sterling Original, we have become leaders in the industry as far as doing skeletonized mechanical automatics for the ladies. And here we combined one of our franchise pieces with a skeleton mechanical for the ladies, and this is the 23-karat yellow gold layered stainless steel execution with the champagne dial. You do see the multicolored rainbow numerals fanned around the dial. You see the skeletonization in the center of the dial, and Tim, you pointed it out. I'm so happy you did. You do get 2 extra interchangeable straps, but it's the case integration, so you do have to kind of make sure you finagle it just right. It's not an easy pop in. You do have a quick change pin. You don't need a special tool, but it has to fit just perfect, so it gives you that perfect case integration, Tim. Custom made.
Guys, last call on it now with about 15 seconds left. 3 custom interchangeable straps, and of course that phenomenal design dial and mechanical automatic decoration that's celebrated through the center of that, I guess call it a semi-skeletonized dial. Gorgeous work. And at this kind of price point, under $100, 4 interest-free payments in the gift box. You got to check it out. All right,
Thanks,
time
Tim.
for the new stuff.
Thanks, Tim.
This is one that I think, frankly, is just going to blow up. This is a skeleton watch, which I still think is one of you guys' fortes.
Absolutely.
You have several key fortes in the industry. I think skeletonization is one, and of course, my favorite, your dial designs consistently. I just marvel at the detail you guys do for very small price points. This one is debuting at $116.15, and it's available in 3 incarnations: the black, the silver tone, or the brown. Now, this is being listed as a 49 millimeter, and for those of you that, it's probably easier just to call it a 50, because I think a lot of you are familiar with that size. But you like the bigger stuff, you've definitely got that here. 316L steel construction. There you see the black and the brown now coming into view. I happen to have the silver tone. The silver tone, by the way, with darker blue accents. That's the one that happens to be in front of me. All in 316L steel, which means surgical grade steel, hypoallergenic steel. But I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to open with a point that you made earlier, because I was suspicious of it when I was looking at this before the show, and I'm going, I don't think I've seen this. I don't think I've seen it. Because at first I thought, honestly, at first I looked at this and I went, well, it's a cool idea. They took the engine and reversed it 180 degrees. But that's not what happened here. You guys actually have a newer engine that's coming to market.
Well, you know, Tim, we've got more than 75 different models of our skeleton mechanical automatics, and many of the Sterling Nation that collects our skeleton mechanicals are familiar with our bread and butter movements that we've been using for about 5 or 6 years. Like, for example, our ST90089, which with 3-hand skeleton movement. We use it in many, many models. More recently, the 90050 3-hand skeleton 20 jewel. But this is brand new. And not just the model, but a new movement, skeleton. It was in development a long time, and we made it perfect. But this is the new ST90001 movement. It's a little bit higher grade. You can see it's got a few more parts than normal. It's got a higher level of skeletonization. All of the extraneous metal parts have been cut away. Look at the detailed scroll work on what's remaining of the top plates. It is gorgeous. So we're launching a new model, but also a new movement. I'm sure we're going to be seeing this. When you do as many skeletons as we do, you can't just keep using the same one. You got to change it up. And so now, because we're so advanced in doing this, we've taken it to a new level with the new ST9001. This is incredible. 40. I thought it was 48. I guess the card is saying 49, but a 49 millimeter case design, and you've got the triple step design bezel on this with the Cristerna crystal. This is a boardroom piece in itself. It's actually from our Bardolatry series in our classic collection, Tim, and I'm doing the black and white thing. I've taken the silver tone case with the black dial here, Tim.
I just threw a caliper on this thing, and it does come out to 49 millimeter, but in simplest terms, I call it a 50. I mean, again, to be exact, it's a 49, but for frankly, in my opinion, visually plays larger than a 50. But deep dish dial, again, some of the great texture, the new movement, which therefore I think this would be first of series on at least 2 counts, a new model, and happens to have a new engine inside it. You'll notice, for example, that the bridge that's moving across the escapement wheel is actually set up a bit higher. It's a bit more three-dimensional than you're going to see in some other incarnations of similar movements. I'll also show you the back here. There's a shot in a second. You can see, okay, there's that bridge.
Beautiful exhibition
which is
case
gonna
back,
be,
Tim.
right up here. But you've got to see the back, because not only is the offset, but you'll notice that, and at least I think this is key, you guys have changed out a bit of the decoration.
Oh,
from
definitely,
the older version.
absolutely. Look at this guillotine-style rotor here, how highly skeletonized it is. You see all the decorations on what's remaining of the pillar plates and the back plates. You see the blued screws. It's kind of offset center in the where it's set inside the case here. You can actually see the notches going around the perimeter of the case back, so you know that it's a threaded and screwed-in case back. But our new Prospero, Tim, this is just an extension of what we've been doing best. Brand new for 2010. We had to launch some new pieces here for the Vegas event, and this one is being new on 2 levels, as you pointed out, Tim.
Okay, here's the deal. There's black, brown, and silver. Number 1 right now is the brown. In fact, at this point, we have barely 50 left, which I promise you in this show basically means it's about to sell out. 116.15 for interest-free payments under V91605. It's a big, dramatic look, and if you like mechanical automatics like I do, especially in larger cases, that's perfect. Now, this one, we've got barely 100 left, and we have blown through, I don't know, was it 12,000 or so? It's a lot, I know that. Many thousands. $54.98. That's not the payment. That's the actual price that moves the last of these out of here right now. $54.98, fewer than 100. This piece for under 100 bucks. That's 1/10 of a carat of genuine diamonds. Choosing between brown, red, white, or black. If you want black, there's about a dozen left. That's it. Curved back, handset back. It's also engraved, by the way. Gorgeous diamond watch, obviously for the ladies' market. And that stated, we're going to move on to something else brand new, which I think is very cool. Four very vibrant power colors.
Tim, it's here. This is brand new. It's been coming for a long time. It's the new Falcon for 2010. We call it the Falcon Predator. Take a look at the orange and black. All the executions are all black PVD cases. We bumped it up to 52 millimeters. Wait till you see the presence on the wrist, guys. I can't wait to show it to you. But you know our Falcon design. You know the Midnight Falcon. Those were 44 millimeter case designs. It goes back a couple of years, but this is one of our hottest looks in our entire gallery, and now we're doing new things with it here in 2010. For example, the strap. Take a look at this strap, Tim. Usually on the Falcons, we've had the we had the rubber strap. Now here's the colors. You have the orange.
Orange, I mean, these, I'm so happy they've named these, obviously. This is the orange. Following that, you're going to see the red.
Yep.
Next to it, you will see the blue, and I happen to have the green in front of me. Now, I will tell you, of the 4 colors, the blue is the most, I would say, reserved. Not the color temperature, but the fact that the blue does not come out onto the dial. The orange and the red and the green all have a matching or complementing appropriate color that actually comes out through the dial and is even, I would think it's, especially in the outer track, it's fair to say that there's a bit of radiance involved in the way that the color is set up. Big powerhouse look. Notice the sculpting, for example, the wonderful 3-dimensionality that's in the steel bezel. Multiple finishes, multiple colorations. The black case, in this case, the case used twice. In this instance, what we've got is a sculpted back. The entire case is done in an IP black, excluding obviously the bezel and so on and so forth. Engraved, and I mean seriously engraved, like CNC machining, 3-dimensional engraving across the back, hand set with screws. And as we're pointing out, this is a very big case, 52 millimeter. In fact, to me, this plays even a little bit visually larger because the truth is I would call this more of a tonneau shape with the bezel itself being round.
Yeah, fair
which makes
point,
it play
Tim.
a little larger.
Absolutely, and also the paddle-style pushers, what we call the winged pushers, like the Falcon wings, that even adds even a little bit more size to this piece. But Tim, you know, in the past on the original Falcons, they were 44 millimeter case designs, and they were all done with a beautiful silicone rubber strap that was set to the case with those self-tapping adhesive screws. What we've done with this one, check out how soft. Just this leather strap is amazing. We put a hinged leather strap, no lugs on this case whatsoever. And look at the double stitching with the padding going down the center. Super, super comfortable. You cannot understand how comfortable this is until you actually put it on your wrist. And the colors here are just fantastic. The green, I don't know which one I like best. Now, everybody knows I like the orange. But that bezel design, Tim, that is a skeletal, unidirectional ratcheting bezel. The engineering on that, just feel, you know, how incredibly smooth that is. It's an extra timing device. And listen, you know, for a timepiece like this, we're not going to cheat the movement here. You've got a Ronda StarTech 5030D 12-hour counter, all metal parts, 6 jewels, add and split functionality on this world-class Swiss Ronda quartz chronograph movement timepiece here, Tim. You've got the date opening at the 12, so it's actually a modified Ronda 5030 because typically they come with the horizontal dates showing the date at the 4 or 5 position. Here we've got the vertical dates, which is a special make for them. But also, you still have the signature small seconds hand at 3 o'clock with the Falcon, with the signature Falcon head with the luminous beak over there at the 3 o'clock position. It goes to the design elements. Now, I would not wear this timepiece with a tuxedo, okay? Especially with these colors. But I'm not wearing tuxedos every day, Tim. Okay, you know I like to wear jeans and polo shirts and tennis shirts, tennis shoes and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. This is a great everyday sport watch, and when you wear this to the office, guys, people are going to turn their heads. It is an eye catcher, a head turner.
I'm going to come back because inside of a minute here, but I've got to mention it. You referred to the wing pushers or the paddle-styled pushers.
Right.
I want to point that out because that's such a great aesthetic touch.
Absolutely.
And I think when they're all black on black like this, you don't necessarily get to see them. I happen to have the green one here. But what we're referring to are these guys. Now, most pushers, of course, are basically, round buttons or whatever. I mean, the point is that they're buttons. In this case, they're basically levers that are extended almost from the protective area of the steel that is designed to protect the crown. So that's, of course, how you would start
Makes it
the
so
chrono.
easy, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does. And they, frankly, just look really cool. V is in Victor, 91595. Absolutely brand new. Green, blue, red, or orange. Not a bad choice in the bunch, guys. And I got, how many? Like 50 each or something? Not even. Inside of 50 of each of these now. This is another one that's going to go. $179.31. 4 interest-free payments, and there is only one presentation remaining on that, which obviously will be a bit later on this evening. Okay, this one is actually I misspoke. It's we're referring to this piece. This is going to be this is it, guys. If you want it, $79.68, and we are talking about a skeletonized mechanical automatic engine that is suspended inside of. You can't really call it a cradle, I guess a framework, and then the framework actually has this lattice work of spokes, and then they in turn suspend the whole thing inside of the case of the watch. So you order this under gold tone or the silver tone, and you're able to pick this up at a very, very inexpensive price tag. This is marked down hugely, and you've got classic architecture, of course, as far as the case is concerned. I like to think of this case, I know this doesn't sound elegant or romantic, but it's sort of like a shape like a fondue pot. It's got these round things on the side, but it is that stated. Well, it does. You got to admit, it does describe the case. But I think it's fair to say that this is one of the classic case designs, especially in dress watches historically. It's been very, very popular for decades, and now you guys step up. You're doing. Let me show you this from this shot. Okay, so you suspended a skeletonized mechanical automatic engine on the inside, but it's literally suspended inside of, I guess you could call it a collar system. For $79.68.
Yeah, we call it a carriage, but absolutely, Tim. It's we've talked about it earlier in the show that Sterling Original, we have become known for our skeletonized mechanical automatic timepieces, and we've got more than 75 different models of them. The Winchester and Winchester Grand is one of our all-time #1 bestsellers. It only follows really only the Delphi and the Alpine. It's the next one in the pecking order here, and I think. When you wear a skeleton mechanical timepiece, you're actually showing your love and appreciation for watchmaking. Why? Because there's no battery in the watch. You're actually showing, you're being able to see all the inner workings of the timepiece, the way it was done in the old days. But with the Winchester, if you want to see it, this one gives you the most to look at because there's no dial whatsoever to obscure any aspect of the movement. You're actually seeing this carriage that's holding the movement as if it's floating inside the case, and the carriage has got these spoke-like like a wagon wheel fashioned out to be your hour markers with the 12, 3, 6, and 9. But you've also got the blued hands, Tim. No matter which execution you order, whether it's the 23-karat yellow gold layered gold tone or the silver tone, no matter which one you order, it's a dressy timepiece, and on the gold tone that Tim is showing you now, it's got that saddle leather color, tan like strap on there. It's a genuine leather, but it's got the alligator embossing it looks like a genuine alligator, but it's not. It's leather with the alligator embossing. So it really can be. It's from our Lifestyles collection, our parliamentary series, but it really could go in the boardroom. Now, I'm taking the silver tone to show with a tuxedo.
Sharp with the tux.
And
That's
you
really
can wear
sharp.
this with a tuxedo. I mean, if you're doing the black and white thing, go with the silver tone. I mean, check it out.
Quick quantity update here. As you've probably noticed on the screen, over 11,900 are now gone. Very shortly, we're going to be announcing 12,000 of these gone. Now, a little bit of perspective, if you want the gold tone example, there's fewer than 150 left. Actually, I think now there's fewer than 140 left. So it's almost certain in this airing that the gold tone, if it doesn't sell out outright, will be all but sold out. There's everything classic about this, the Dolphin-styled hands, the fact you're going mechanical automatic. Now, the one thing that I think separates this from a pure classic is that you suspended it in this collar system, or whatever you want to call it. It's just a sharp look, but I think it lends a little bit of the originality to an otherwise very classic design, and it just celebrates so much of what Sterling is famous for. And then you layer it in gold or not. For a tux, I got to admit, I'm going with you on this one. I love the that silver, the polished 316L steel with the black strap. Gorgeous.
Well, Tim, we're just about to cross the 12,000 marker, 12,000 piece marker here. You alluded to it. And, keep in mind, that 12,000 that we're just about to cross here on the Winchester Grand does not really even take into account the original Winchester that we sold here on ShopNBC, many thousands. Now, the difference is the original Winchester looked very much just like this, but it was in a 40-millimeter case design. This is the newer Winchester Grand, which is a 44-millimeter case design. So this is the larger version, and it brings it a little bit more contemporary. And there's that exhibition case back, and you may have noticed a little bit of reflection in the crystal on the top side from the studio lights. That's because it's a slightly domed Cristerna crystal. Again, slightly domed, more expensive than just a pure flat crystal. And then also look at those beautiful sculpted lugs, Tim. Even the lugs are very stylish. No corners have been cut here. And there you can even see the notches that go around the perimeter of the case back, the exhibition case back, so you know it's threaded. It's not a pop-off case back. There's that beautiful pumpkin-style crown with the knurled edges there. Everything about it, it just speaks to class. And again, anybody new out there that's never owned a Sterling Original, take a hard look right here. There's no battery in this watch. You're paying tribute to an art and tradition that goes back many centuries. This is what Sterling Original really is all about, Tim.
About 90 seconds ago, we announced there's about 150 left of the gold tone. There's now fewer than 50 left of the gold tone. The gold tone will sell out this airing. There's barely 40 left, and it's going to. This will.
Yeah.
Now, this one probably will, but this one absolutely will.
Yeah.
So it's silver tone or the gold tone, your choice while they last at $79.68. And, of course, the 4 interest-free payments. You literally can check this out for $19.92. And I don't know if we're going to get to see this roll into 12,000. Maybe.
Maybe we're just about
see.
to cut away here.
But we got to go. Larry, as always, a terrific job, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
so
Tim.
very,
Great
very
job.
much.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next weekend.
And much ahead, guys, as we put a last call on that, because next hour is the highly anticipated return of exoskeleton watches to prime time. So Abby's going to come out here and join me, and we'll get into that just brilliant brand. I'm such a fan of these guys. This is just one example. This actually uses a process called laser hammering, where they actually modify the surface of the 904L steel with a laser beam. Details to follow. Stick around.